Let me
Boom
get some
shaka
man
laka.
problem.
You already know
Let
the
me do this one.
vibery. It's tea time. It's Big Fan Breezy. It's Saturday. It's Who Run the City. You know, we here, man. We here on another Saturday. I guess I gotta start the show because Big Fan Breezy ain't got no playoff talk to talk about. Yeah,
I do, but not my team ain't in it. But it's all good. I mean, it's really not all good. But go ahead. You can start.
yeah, yeah. You know, nobody want to hear off season talk right now. I mean, Big Fan Breezy got a lot of that. I know we gonna get the whole season talk.
That's a fact. I do got a lot of off-season talk. That's a fact.
Fraz, you already know the vibery. My guy Fraz in the building. Team Nixon issues in the building. You already know. Uh, what you call it? Yeah. So I guess we could talk about Game Three. Uh, how controversial it is. Uh, you know why I ain't mad because I did say the Knicks in five. I did say the Knicks in five. That was my prediction last week, and I'm standing on that. But you know, on Nixon ish. I was at work when they did the Nixon ish after the game, but I popped up just to express my displeasure with the way Joel Embiid conducted himself in that game. I'm not mad at losing. You know what I mean? I'm not mad at losing at all, but the way he acted and conducted himself was disgusting. Purposely trying to injure my guy Mitchell Robinson, excuse me, by grabbing his legs and while he was jumping and throwing him to the ground, then kicking him in the kuyons. He also kicked Isaiah Hartenstein in the kuyons. Then there's a play you could see him, he was driving to the basket. Nobody touched him. He falls and throws himself into Mitchell Robinson's legs, and that's ultimately was the play that injured Mitchell Robinson. And Mitchell Robinson had to leave the arena in a walking boot. Uh, is another play where the Sixers inbound the ball and Joel Embiid went out his way to backpedal and hip check OG Anunoby. And then he goes down the court, gets the ball, and the refs immediately call a ticky-tack reaching foul on the Knicks. I always say I don't like to complain about the refs, but when one player shoots more than the other opposing team's whole team free throws, it's something wrong in that game. There's something wrong in that game. Joel Embiid on his lonesome shot more free throws than the whole New York Knicks team. Joel Embiid shot 21 free throws. The Knicks shot 19. The Sixers in total shot 33 free throws to the Knicks 19, right? And I could be mad. I could be mad, but I ain't gonna front like I'm not a little bit perturbed on how that game was refed and allowed Joel Embiid to commit ultimately what should have been a flagrant two, because by definition of a flagrant two, a flagrant is unnecessary contact, right? That's a flagrant one. That's the definition that the NBA gives what a flagrant one is. Unnecessary contact. A flagrant two is unnecessary and excessive contact. So you can't tell me that Joel Embiid laying on the floor, sees a man jumping, gets up, sits up, grabs that said person out of the air and throw him to the ground is not unnecessary and excessive. You can't tell me that's not unnecessary and excessive. And I get the whole spew of it's the playoffs. He's the best player in the series. They're not going to eject him, but player safety has to be an issue too. The way they allowed him to conduct himself in that first half of basketball was atrocious. He was out there intentionally trying to hurt people. Intentionally trying to hurt people. You don't go and kick two people in the gonads in one half and throw throw one of them to the ground while you laying on the ground, and y'all supposed to just let that rock. At the very least, it's supposed to have been at least two flagrant ones that he would have got ejected. At the very least. Because the Hartenstein knee to the gonad should have been a flagrant one. At the very least. And that's my major gripe. I'm not mad at losing. I had the Knicks in five. I told you they was going to take one in Philly, right? And we also have to give leeway to the fact that I guess that was a get back game for the Sixers being cheated, you know what I mean, if you will. But the way they let Joel Embiid conduct himself is disgusting. I don't give a fuck about no Bell's palsy, all that. He kissed my ass with that. All my sympathy went out the window when he injured Mitchell Robinson. Fuck him. Fuck his Bell palsy. Fuck Philly. Fuck his knee. Everything. I'm on that type timing. And I wish we was in the 90s because if if we had, if Julius Randle was there, Julius Randle would have probably popped on Joel Embiid. He'd have probably popped on him. You know what I mean? And we needed it. Charles Oakley said it himself. I'm going to land the plane right here. Charles Oakley said it himself. He said if he was there, he'd have probably slapped him. And he should have been slapped because he was acting like a scared little bitch on that court. You know what I mean? That's what scared people do. You know, when you worried about losing after you talk that shit, you're going to act out. You're going to do whatever you can do to try to muck up the game because you're scared. You scared. I get it, Joel Embiid. You scared. The only way y'all could beat the Knicks is for Joel Embiid to become the dirtiest player. I got more on Joel Embiid being a dirty player, but I'm gonna let you talk and I'm gonna bring it back up. Only way they could beat the Knicks is for Joel Embiid to become the dirtiest player in the game, and that's sad. Knicks in 5, baby.
I hear you, man, and it's unfortunate to see the best player in basketball is the refs calling the cleanest games. And in my opinion, for what it's worth, as a Nets fan, I think the refs try to balance out what they missed in game 2 at the end with the Maxi call. That was debatable about whether or not the ref should have called the timeout for Nick Nurse, and also was he fouled. And again, I credit this to the 2-minute report. The 2-minute report needs to be improved immediately, and I mean immediately as in the current game. They need to call Secaucus like, yo, this is what we're looking at, because that's what they say when they go to the instant replay. Secaucus, let Secaucus look at it. The Secaucus is in New Jersey. That's where they do the instant replays. And I'm saying for good. Thank you, sir. For them to just give the fans just a sorry and apology from the ref, saying, okay, yeah, we missed the calls, but you really missed the outcome of a real playoff game. And we as fans want to see the team win, because I was rooting for Philly to win that game in the game 2. And I'm like, yo, how they fucking, pardon my language, how they lose this game in the last minute like that? You know what I mean? Now, granted, the Knicks are known for offensive rebounds, so I know how it happened, but I was mad that the Sixers let it happen. Now, again, I'm not debating that wasn't real. And, you could have called foul on that, too. You could have called when Hartenstein got the rebound, him coming down the way he did. The refs could have called foul then. There was a lot of calls that they missed. And what I'm saying is that carried on to game 3, because they like, well, if we allowing this, then we got to allow this. And even though they're wrong about it, they're consistent about what they allow as far as physicality in the playoff opposed to a regular season game. And I'm not agreeing with it, saying that it's right, but it's consistent, saying that they admitting to it in the 2-minute report. They like, yeah, this is what we missed. You look at the 2-minute report, it's what the fans are upset about, they admitting it in the 2-minute report. But what good does that do? What really good does that do? They have to fix the 2-minute report to make it immediate in the game, because you're deciding the outcome of a win and a loss, and that should be by the players, not the refs. So I'll leave it there.
Yeah. So, Fraz, that's funny because he criticized us about rooting for Milwaukee, but he said he was rooting for the Philly to win the game. Right?
Yeah, no. Y'all know me. I troll. And the other day, that same game, Fraz says, if you didn't know, I pulled up the T-Time page, said good game. And then after that, it was funny because that's when I heard all the outcry about the refs and this and that and third. But case in point, I remember seeing that play. And I was like, yeah, I don't know. That could have been a foul. That could have been a timeout. But again, to the point, the 2-minute report, they admitting to where they went. They missed. They didn't. You know what I mean? They missed the call. So I don't know.
My thing. Overall, my thing is I like the fact that they letting the players be more physical. It's definitely giving more of a 90s vibe this postseason, and I'm here for it. You know what I mean? I'm here for it. But my thing is be consistent in that. You know what I mean? You can't have 90s style refereeing when you calling calls for Jalen Brunson But every time somebody touches Joel Embiid is a foul. Even phantom fouls. Yo, I watch Hartenstein closes the distance at the 3-point line on Joel Embiid, gets in his space, legal guard position. Joel Embiid just jumps and throws the ball at the rim. They call the foul. Like, this is the part that bothers me. If you're going to be consistent with that kind of calls, be consistent both ways, right? I'm okay with y'all not calling it ticky tack on Jalen Brunson. I'm okay with that. I could live with that, right? But the way they're refereeing Joel Embiid is ridiculous because Joel Embiid literally just he's shooting jump shots and running into people. That's it. That's how he's playing. He's shooting jump shots and running into people and they're giving fouls. And when he don't get a foul and he misses a shot, he's complaining. I've never seen somebody in my whole entire life that complains every time they have the basketball. Like every single time, every single play, he's crying for a foul. He's flopping. He's 6'1", 6'2", or some shit like that, and he's throwing himself on the ground.
7-1. Yeah.
7'1" and throwing himself on the ground. It's disgusting basketball to watch somebody that big flop as much.
Hold on.
And
I
be
just
rewarded for it.
I just wanted to add to that fresh off. Again, like I said, one of my favorite podcasts, 7 p.m. in Brooklyn. I was watching him and the Marbury interview. It was Mello Duso, Mello and I forget his name, but him, Mello, I think, and Marbury. And Marbury does a part where he talks about not doing that. You say, yo, I grew up in New York playing on concrete. It's different from you learn how to make the basket or go to the basket without landing on the floor because you play on concrete. You know what I'm saying? It's like these players today, they be flopping around and there's something to that effect. So, I felt it was noteworthy. If y'all ain't doing nothing besides liking our video, subscribing to our channel, go check out 7 p.m. in Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? That Starberry interview was dope. I mean,
yeah. So yeah, I agree with Marbury. I mean, because Jalen Brunson does it a lot too, falling to the floor. Yeah, I mean, and you also perpetuate injuries that way. Yeah, I mean, keep on hitting the ground. Overall affects your health. Yeah, I mean, unless you studied on how to land properly, like watch WWE wrestlers type shit and learn how to land properly.
No doubt, that's what's up.
You're gonna end up getting hurt for real. Yeah, I mean, but yeah, I just like I said, I don't mind whatchamacallit, them not calling it super tight pause when it comes to Jalen Brunson, but be consistent when you're refereeing Joel Embiid. You know what I mean? And there was something else I was gonna say too about Joel Embiid.
I know
But
I wanted to say one thing is the Joel Embiid, the DiVincenzo, I don't know, kick up or whatever, wouldn't happen if the refs called it cleaner. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Because it's already intense. It's the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? It's intense. Both teams, again, the Knicks can't in the situation where they're the second seed and they deserve it because of how well they played through the season. And the Sixers kind of entitled, probably felt like they would have been a second seed. So both teams will be embarrassed, and it's a letdown, a disappointment to lose in the first round for both teams.
yeah.
That's not usually the case for the seventh seed, but with the Sixers situation and Embiid coming back just for the playoffs is definitely to get out the first round.
Yeah.
So I think this is going to decide where career choices. Philly might break up. They lose in the first round. You know what I'm saying? Something might happen. You know what I mean? So we'll see.
But so it was something I wanted to say about the game 2 situation as well. And this is where I think Philly is soft, man, because to blame the refs was the easy scapegoat for them, right? Because one, you took a double-digit lead in the first quarter. Immediately. As soon as the game started, they went up by like 10. Like as soon as the game started, no lie. You let that lead go. We came back, took the lead. You took the lead again. We came back and took the lead. You took the lead for a third time. The refs didn't make Kyle Lowry miss one of them free throws he took before Jalen Brunson hit that 3. Kyle Lowry went 1 for 1 at the free throw line. If he make both of those free throws, the game at least goes into overtime,
Yeah.
right? Then you know, we also, but one thing that's not being spoken about is that Maxi could have got called for. Oh no, no! Before we get to that, uh, after Kyle Lowry missed the free throw, uh, there was a loose ball. Jalen Brunson fell on the floor. Three Philly players around him, but somehow DiVincenzo comes out with the ball. No, it was an offensive rebound before that. I'm sorry. It was an offensive rebound that we got. Then Jalen Brunson got the ball, fell to the floor. Three Philly players around him. Nobody but DiVincenzo came out the pack with the basketball. That's not the ref's fault there. That you can't get a defensive rebound or a loose ball. Jalen Brunson made the three, right? Excuse me. Tyrese Maxey could have been called for a push off on Josh Hart when on that inbounds play. He ran directly to Josh Hart, put both hands in his chest, paused, and pushed, fully extended arms. That could have been an offensive foul that wasn't called. And and then we wouldn't even be having this conversation about was Maxi foul. But it was a play on, which I'm not mad at, right? Then the first shot, DiVincenzo missed. Full red jerseys is in front of the hoop. Full. Then Isaiah Hartenstein flies in out of nowhere, grabs the board. Is that the ref's fault? Because if they get that rebound, game over. The game over.
Well,
And then,
just real quick, what's the status on Mitch Robinson for today's game?
no, we don't play until Sunday.
Oh, Sunday, my fault.
Ain't no update yet.
Hmm.
Ain't no update yet. But he left the arena in a walking boot, so that's not good. I hope it's
Yeah.
just precautionary, but yeah,
So that's what I wanted to ask you. Can you walk me through what happens if he's there and if he's not there?
I got you. Just let me finish landing the plane on game two. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So it was so many instances where Philly could have sealed that game, right? But they decided to take the easy route and blame the refs. And salute to Maxi for being a stand-up dude and say, "Yo, I gotta be better. I can't fall on the floor in that instance. I need to be stronger with the basketball." Shout out to Maxi for taking accountability. You know what I mean? Except for bitch ass Nick Nurse and Joel Embiid. I'm sick of both of them. You know what I mean? And Nick Nurse said too, he didn't see the play where Joel Embiid threw Mitchell Robinson to the ground when they asked him after the game. How the fuck you told me you didn't see it? It's on a big ass Titantron. Your best player is in jeopardy of getting a flagrant two. You mean you didn't see the play? Fuck out of here, bro. This is what I'm saying. There's a whole lot of bitch assness going on in Philly and that I'm not digging. But to answer your question about Mitchell Robinson, I think that's why Joel Embiid was so intent on injuring Mitchell Robinson. I think Mitchell Robinson defended him the best between him and Hartenstein. I'm not saying that Mitchell Robinson stopped uh, Joel Embiid, but if you notice in the second half of those games, Mitchell Robinson played a Lionheart of those minutes, and Joel Embiid started to slow down in those in game one and two in the second half because of the defense that Mitchell Robinson was playing on him. Mitchell Robinson is a lot stronger than Hartenstein. He's taller, longer arms. You know what I mean? So I'm not saying that Embiid wasn't getting buckets on Mitch as well, but I know Mitchell Robinson covered him a lot better. You know what I mean? Uh, but yeah, that's why I feel like Joel Embiid tried to get him up out of there. You know what I mean? I feel like that's why. I mean, yo, being habitual Kuyon kicker is crazy, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You out here.
nah, I mean, again, the refs, that's on the refs to an extent, man, because if they don't allow that, because the player going to do whatever they're going to do. But if the refs don't allow it, or if early in the game, they kind of, all right, this is not basketball, y'all taking it somewhere else. Again, 90s basketball was good, but the truth is that, the intensity is good. The best game is still being able to keep that intensity with the professionalism, and you don't always see that. So you see guys try to, what I mean, get desperate, for lack of better words. And again, that's what I contribute a dirty game to. That's desperation. That mean, and yeah, I want you to be willing to do whatever it takes to win the game, but professionally, not in a dirty way. You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. Y'all playoff series is probably one of the best right now. The Philly Knicks series. Other teams is getting washed. But y'all
I'm
might
not
have the
done with
best series.
I'm not done with Embiid yet. Y'all had a similar situation with Embiid kicking Nick Claxton in the cool yards in a game. Yeah, that I remember that being a thing. And shout out to Michael Allen Skeen. He posted something to that effect that I mean, like he kicking players in the couillons. And then Twitter done did a deep dive on Joel Embiid and his dirtiness as a player, right? Pause. Deep dive is crazy. Uh, uh, we know if Draymond Green would have did that to Mitchell Robinson, Draymond Green would have got a flagrant two. He'd have been kicked out the game and probably suspended for a game or two, right? We know this. So Twitter went and found out that Joel Embiid is a dirtier player than uh whatchamacallit, Draymond Green. And people consider Draymond Green a dirtier player. So look, check it. In 970 games, Draymond Green has 21 flagrant fouls in 970 games. In 489 games, Joel Embiid has 23. He is committing atrocities on a basketball court at a super higher rate, but nobody talks about it because he's considered a star. He's given Rain to do whatever the fuck he want, and that's nasty work. That's nasty work. Because then if somebody pop on him in the NBA game, they're gonna look like the bad guy. But when really you allowing this guy to kick up his leg into people's groins, hit them with elbows in their face, throw them to the ground because he's frustrated with foul calls. That that's little kid tactics, bro. You a grown ass man and a professional, and these dudes is out here trying to feed their family the same way you are. Like if you fuck his nerve damage, SRK, fuck his nerve damage, bro. Because what he did to Mitchell Robinson could have possibly ended his career. You're talking about a 280-pound man laying on the floor and grabbing another 250-pound man out of the air. 7 foot, 250-pound man out the air being dragged down by a 280-pound man. Like, nah. You could have possibly ended Mitchell Robinson's career, and that's nasty work. And this is why
Yeah,
I'm so
that was
upset.
yeah, that was crazy. That was crazy. And again, I understand the flagrant two outcry. I understand that. And again, I like I said, I don't agree with it, but I'm articulating what I see. But and I understand what I see, but I don't agree with it. Like a flagrant two would have been appropriate, but at the end of the day, they looking at it like they I think they avoiding or you know what I mean. They avoiding the oh well. Why do you call that? Look what the Knicks did to Tyrese Maxey. I'm just giving like examples.
Yeah.
There's going to be an outcry of that, and they trying to avoid that. So that's what I'm saying. I see the consistency and not calling for either team in a way where they could have called for the 76ers or they could have called for the Knicks. And I'm not saying it's equal, but I'm saying as far as efficiency on how well the refs have called this series, um, is the win contingent on the players or the ref? It's for the fans to decide. You know what I'm saying? But they got to do better with the 2 minute report. I'll
I
say
can
that.
tell you, I can tell you right now that win on game three was not contingent on the players. If a one player is shooting more free throws than a whole other team, that win is not contingent on the players. Joel Embiid is too good of a basketball player for you to send him to the line 21 times and him not get hot. Like most players, when they want to start off and get in a rhythm shooting, they get uh most players when you know they start playing basketball. What's the first thing they do? They go shoot free throws, right? To get a rhythm, get their form right. And you send a player like Joel Embiid to the line as many times as they did, he's gonna get hot, bro. So I'm not surprised what happened in the third quarter with him going uh uh I'm not surprised of him going going on that little run that he did in the third quarter, which kind of was like the determining factor of the game. But yeah, this series, I mean, game three was not contingent on Philly being better than the Knicks. The refs helped the 76ers that game. 33 free throws to 19. Nasty work.
Yeah, that's a disparity. Of course, that's a disparity. But before we get back next week, Saturday, how many games are played and where they played at for the series?
We I think we played. Hold on, let me check. I know we played
Sunday.
Sunday.
What time? What
Uh,
time that game come on? That's an afternoon game or a late game?
it is an afternoon game, 1 p.m.
Mm.
Where
And you call
which
that a win?
yeah, the refs
Mm.
ain't gonna be able, refs ain't gonna be able to save them again. They already got their get back for being cheated. Then we played three more. We played three more potentially
Yeah, I was
because
about to say you think it goes. This goes seven.
nah nah because game six would be on Thursday. Game seven would be on Saturday. This shit gonna be over on Tuesday. Game.
Mm.
We be talking about the next matchup by the time we come back. That's a fact. That's a fact.
I
That's a fact.
mean, okay. So let's okay. So for what it's
And
worth,
I'm
uh,
gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why.
yeah,
Because one, it took Joel Embiid to drop 50. He's not dropping 50 every game, gang. He's not. He's not dropping 50 every game. And the supporting cast for the Philadelphia 76ers have yet to show up. I think Oubre had a decent game in game three. I think he had like 12 points or 15 points or some shit like that. But nobody else is scoring over double digits for the Philadelphia 76ers in this whole shit. Like, it'd be Tyrese and it'd be Joel Embiid, and one person might have 10 points and everybody else is in single digits. But when you look at the Knicks, a stat sheet, there's multiple guys with double digits in a game. We're talking about at least 5 to 6 people every game in double digits for the Knicks. And to me, that's the difference. You know what I mean? Like, that's the difference. Our supporting cast is showing up. Theirs is not. Uh, Sixers needed help in game six to beat us by the refs. And and they got to resort to dirty tactics. They got to resort to dirty tactics. And if I'm Coach Tommy T, I'm pointing out that I'm like, yo, they scared, gang. Look what they got to do. Look what they got to do to beat y'all. Like, they can't even play fair anymore because they know what's up. We out
I
hustle.
think, yeah, I think they messed up giving away Jimmy Butler. Remember that the whole Tobias Harris over me. Tobias Harris. I just want to say, we hear a lot of back and forth about Maxey and Embiid and Embiid having to score 50. Emphasis to him having to score 50 because Tobias Harris has not been showing up. Somebody like Tobias Harris without having Randall on the floor, you would expect because of his contract for him to show up. He was supposed to be that third guy. I mean, honestly, I think he was supposed to be that second guy. And Maxey just ascended real quick. Know what I'm saying? But listen, Tobias Harris, he's been lukewarm in this series, and I think he's the real X factor on why Embiid has to do all this extra stuff. They contribute the win to Tobias Harris and Embiid, and the 76ers keeping Josh Hart off of the rebounds. I think last game he only had single digit rebounds, but his rebound status is what I mean, for a guard is I would have to say impressive. But that being said, I think they looking at that as the keys to winning or not. But I look at it like the X factor. If Tobias Harris can help Maxey and Embiid, then yeah, they might have a chance. You know what I'm saying? But I think because he hasn't produced a good 20 and 10 in these playoffs, when the last time they got 20 and 10 from Tobias Harris? He already beats us. The Nets. He's fucking Dirk Nowitzki when he plays us, but when he plays the Knicks in the playoffs, he not showing up. So I want to say a special you're corny to Tobias Harris for not showing up in the playoffs versus the Knicks, but you always do good versus the Nets. I think that's corny. I think it's corny that you want to do that to the Nets in the regular season, but you can't do it to the Knicks in the playoffs. I think you're corny. So forget Tobias Harris. Not a fan of him. You should be giving the Knicks work. Randall not there, you should be playing better, and he's not.
Let me answer Leaf real quick. The reason why they won the rebound battle in Game 3, Hart was in foul trouble for ticky-tack fouls. And Joel Embiid injured Mitchell Robinson. There you go right there. That's the only reason why they won the rebound battle. Is because ticky-tack fouls had Hart on the bench a lot of the game. And Joel Embiid purposely injured Mitchell Robinson. And I'm standing on purposely. He gave some bullshit excuse that, I had flashbacks when such and such fell on my leg. Bro, Mitchell Robinson was nowhere near close to falling on you. You actively sat up, grabbed that man out of the air, bro. You know what I mean? So, boom, whatever. But, yeah, that's the reason why they won. Let me answer my guy, JJ. My prediction for next week is this series is over on Tuesday.
Nah, he trying to be funny, man. Now he trying to be funny.
I didn't see net. Oh, my
Nah,
bad.
yeah, nah. That's not funny. That's not funny. My predictions for next week is that Jordy Fernandez is going to continue to shake up the scene, but that's for another conversation.
Yeah, this series is over on Tuesday, guys. My guy Jimmy J1 in the building. I see you. Make sure y'all hitting that like button, y'all.
I gotta say, man, I don't think that y'all could end the series on Tuesday because, again, I think the 76ers, regardless of the outcome of the home games for the Knicks, they felt like they could beat y'all those first two games. Probably more game 2 than game 1. But again, if those other players like Tobias Harris and Kelly Oubre don't show up, I expected more from Kelly Oubre. I thought I was going to get 18 and 8 from Kelly Oubre. Tobias Harris 22 and 6 or 22 and 10. You know what I'm saying? He should be able to get double-digit rebounds. Like you like 6'8", 6'9". You know what I mean? Kyle Lowry, I know Nick Nurse made it happen to where he got Kyle Lowry on his team to lead. And for what it's worth, I like Kyle Lowry. Everything he does doesn't show up on the stat sheet. But I just looking at it player for player on the roster, I don't know if they got enough to beat the Knicks, man. Sorry to say. I think Paul Reed, for him to say what he said, in these 3 games, I don't know if his stats back up the way he was talking before this season. I mean, before this series. I don't know, man. Those players besides Embiid and Maxey got to step up because it's looking like the Maxey and Embiid and company. That's what it's looking like right now.
Yo, for this game to go further than 5, for this series to go further than 5, Philly absolutely has to win on tomorrow. Absolutely. If the Knicks go back to the Garden up 3-1, it is over, gang. It is over. Pack it up. Start tuning up the band. Because get the fat lady her ginger tea with honey and lemon. You know what I mean? Because she's about to start singing, gang. So if we go back up,
who y'all see? Who y'all see if y'all do go to round 2? The winner out of who?
I think it's the Cavs and
Orlando.
I think because
that's 4 and 5.
Because it wouldn't be 3 and 6. Nah, it'll be the highest seed out of. Yeah, I mean, it'll be the.
Yeah, it'll be 5 instead of 4 or 5 instead of 6 or 3, I guess. Because the teams left is Milwaukee Pacers, Cleveland, Orlando.
Leaf said Indiana and Milwaukee.
Be the winner out of that.
Okay. I'm not exactly sure, but either way, I don't care, bro. Knicks in 5.
You see any other teams get into the second round in 5 games? Minnesota. Minnesota might go for the sweep.
Okay. Get the Swiffers ready. Get the Swiffers ready.
Oh wow.
Yeah, get the Swiffers ready because that's about to be packed. You know what I mean?
Leaf said Boston. He said Boston might get there in 5.
The way Boston been looking and the way Miami been playing, I don't know, man. Boston ain't convincing me of nothing against the Heat, bro. No Jimmy Butler, no Terry Rozier, and they still out there Nah,
What does
I
that
don't.
say about coaching and Eric Spoelstra?
I think it says a lot about the coach in Boston. Yeah, I mean, we already know about Eric Spoelstra, and these guys are just playing hard. You feel me? And Tyler Hero's going out there and getting buckets and making and correct plays. I I ain't got no smoke for Tyler Hero the way he's been playing this series.
Yeah,
Like
he had
he,
like 12 assists the other day, or
yeah,
14 or something like that.
yeah. Uh, but yeah, bro, Leaf, it ain't just about the 55% from three, bro. If you watching the game and what they're literally out hustling Boston, bro. And Boston is settling for threes. You know what I mean? There's no ball
Mm.
movement in Boston. You they allowed them to put Cody or Caleb. I can't remember which one name is in Miami, but they allowed the Martin kid to guard Porzingis, and this nigga Porzingis shot jump shots the whole game. Like this is what I'm
Yeah,
saying,
what's
bro.
what's going on with that matchup with Bam and Porzingis? Who's winning that? Bam, I heard.
Bro, first of all, Bam ain't guarding Porzingis. They put the Martin kid on him, Cody Martin,
He's a guard.
and he was guarding. He was checking Porzingis, dog, and Porzingis is shooting jump shots.
That's wild.
You know what I mean?
That coach is wild.
And
You
Bam is
sit that
giving.
coach. That coach need to have a seat.
You
Like I don't know, man. That Celtic coach is bold.
and
He's seven
what you
one, right? Porzingis correct.
seven
He's
three
7-1.
7-3.
Oh, excuse me,
Yeah. So and and
man.
and Bam is busting Al Horford ass, bro. Pause. Yeah, I mean he giving Al Horford work.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, yeah, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that. I still got Boston winning. You know what I mean? Don't get
Yeah.
it twisted. But I don't know if they winning in five. I
Yeah,
feel like
but that's what I'm saying. Like, who gets to the second round faster has that advantage, especially if the refs gonna be holding their whistle like that, and all this physicality happens. Um, Orlando versus Cleveland, that's gonna be seem like a physical matchup as well. I'm surprised. I'm surprised Cleveland.
backed
Got
up.
that work the other day. Like I'm surprised. I counted Orlando out after they lost those first two games. But again, this is the significance of players doing well, teams doing well in the regular season, so they could get home court advantage. It really does mean a lot in the playoffs. You know, I do know. I mean, not that whatever. But what I'm saying is the thing is Orlando being a young team, yeah, they'll have trouble being on the road. You know what I mean? Maybe for various reasons, confidence, first time they were there, it's the jitters, whatever the case is. Now that they home, that was a convincing win. Now, if they win again, I'm saying all this to say that the series with Orlando and Cleveland Cavaliers, Orlando Magic and Cleveland Cavaliers is gonna go more than five. I think it goes more than five because of the home court advantage. I think it's 2-2, 1-1, and I see it that way for the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Orlando Magic. I see Orlando Magic winning that next game, tying it at 2. They going back to the Cleveland Cavs, clearing them, but I see a tough win, tough 4 win for Orlando in that game 6. And I think maybe the Cavs, they I don't know what happens in game 7, but I said all I had to say, it's going to be more than 5 games. So I see them more than 5 games. The Mavs, how you call that? How you call that? You call the Mavs and Clips more than 5? You said it was going to be the best series of the playoffs. How you call that?
I don't know, man. After watching the clips last night, I don't know, man. I think the Mavs gonna clear this in six, bro. I think the Mavs gonna clear this in six. I, Kawhi don't look like Kawhi no more. Uh, Paul George ain't it, man. There's a lot of Knicks fans that was yelling for Paul George for us to make a trade for Paul George, and I was one of those people that was like, hell nah. And it was people telling me I was crazy. Oh, Paul George is nice. He this, he that. I'm like, yo, listen, I'm not saying Paul George is scrub, but he's not it, bro. He's never been it, bro. Um, he's never been it for me. He's never been that guy that I felt like. you could build your team around, and he was going to be the guy to lead you to the promised land. Because in times like this, he's never stepped up in my eyes. He's been injured a lot too. Don't get it twisted, but yeah, I mean, he's never stepped up and been that guy in my eyes, bro. Like the biggest memory I got of Paul George in the playoffs is Dame Lillard hitting a 50-foot 3-pointer in his face and waving by to him and sending him home. That's the biggest memory I got of Paul George in the playoffs, dog. Like I just the Clips.
That's right.
The Clips is yeah. I think they out of here in 6 game. I think they out of
I'm
here in
not.
6.
I'm gonna have to agree with you. I think the again, it can't just be Kyrie and Luca, and those other guys. They did a better job after game one. They got Lively. He was a rookie. I was looking at him. Hopefully, we could have got him. They got a few other players. I won't mention them all, but I'll say about game six. I'll say it more than 5 games. I give the Clippers. And from what I hear, they tried to have Kawhi back in the lineup and surround the offense around and running through him where they went wrong. Coaching will tell you, and history will tell you that you don't have to do that with Kawhi Leonard because he's a two-way player. He could just play defense until he find his flow back in the offense, and then focus on him being efficient opposed to him being a volume shooter. But who am I? I'm just big fan Breezy, you know what I mean? Case in point is it looked like Jason Kidd might be out coaching Tyrone.
Yeah,
Uh
absolutely.
word. Who else it is? It's OKC and the Pelicans. I got that less. I got that 5 or less.
Who's
I got
leading in
that.
that city? OKC is washing these guys up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got OKC winning that because Willie Green thought the shot should have went to CJ McCollum instead of Brandon Ingram. If you're gonna make choices like that in the fourth quarter and not give the ball, you for one, again, Brandon Ingram been there way longer than CJ McCollum. If anybody deserved to take the last shot, is Brandon Ingram. You know what I mean? I seen CJ fumble the ball after he got the ball. Like it wasn't like he was just doing work like Tyrese Halliburton. He ran up the court, crossed him over, crossed back, hit him with the soft floaty. I'm like, yo, bro, that's how you end a game at home. Not CJ McCollum. So
Yeah.
it's disrespectful. And what I'll say is I've seen better coaching, and you're supposed to put the ball in the best one-on-one play on your team. And the best one-on-one player on the Pelicans is Brandon Ingram over CJ McCollum. Um,
Absolutely.
so yeah, I got OKC winning 5 or less. How you call that?
Uh, I would have to agree because no Zion, just like Leaf said, no Zion. I'm not interested in this series. Like Zion would have made this a more competitive series. CJ McCollum has never been that guy in the playoffs as well. I think Dame Lillard wasted his best years of his career being partnered up with CJ McCollum because Dame Lillard had to carry that whole Blazers team in the playoffs when they went to the playoffs every year because
Mm-hmm.
CJ disappeared, right? And that's been an
Yeah.
MO on him for forever. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I'm not putting no stock in CJ McCollum to show up and make this a series. And OKC is really good, really good. That Williams kid is nice. That
Yeah.
Williams kid is nice, bro.
Yeah, he
Like
been
everybody
making a
talk,
lot of noise, man. I ain't gonna lie, he's making a lot of noise.
everybody talk about SGA and rightfully so. SGA and the power forward or center, whatever that kid name is, I forgot.
Yeah,
Uh,
talking about Shay
yeah,
Holmgren.
yeah, they make noise about those two. I feel like it's kind of being swept under the rug how good this Williams kid is. I think he like 6'6", 6'7", got a decent handle, got the nice midi. He could go all the way to the rack. He could dunk on you, could shoot the three. This kid got a whole arsenal. He 3-level scorer, bro. And he
Mm-hmm.
pause and he strong and big. Like he could, like yo, he's tough,
Yeah,
bro. Like
yeah.
that's he's the real reason why I hate playing OKC. It's not
Mm-hmm.
it's not SGA. Both times we played OKC this season,
Mm-hmm.
that Williams kid lit us up, bro.
Mm-hmm.
You know
Yeah,
what I
no,
mean?
he was in an MIP conversation. He had more votes than Cam Thomas. There was a few players that had more votes than Cam Thomas. I think he was one of them. And again, I wouldn't say I gave him the nod, but I respected the fact that he was on that list. That being said, yeah, he's someone that's going to help OKC in the playoffs because Shea is going to draw double teams, regardless of who they play. And hell of a shot by Shea Gilgeous Alexander, bro. Like he did a play where he looked like he faked like he was gonna avoid where the double was at and went towards it to the midi, did it like a shimmy, put it up, and it went in. And that was for the
Yeah.
game. So I'm saying that to say that kind of clutch. I think it's going to get acknowledged. I think they gave the awards the other day. Did he get the clutch? Did he get the most clutch player in the NBA? I'm not sure if he did, but he was definitely a candidate. I don't see Pelicans having enough to go the distance with OKC. Yeah, I got them in 5. But shout to them, man. I think they played Denver because I don't see the Lakers. I mean, that's obvious. I don't have to articulate a soliloquy for y'all to understand that the Lakers is out of here. They are fitting to get swept. It just is what it is, man. So I think it's gonna be. I don't know. No, that would be 1-3. So that wouldn't happen the next round. I don't know who will play each other next round, but I will say that the Denver is going to be less than 5 games, and OKC is going to be less than 5 games. What about you? You think LeBron make a miraculous comeback and make this a tough one?
It's over. It's over. Uh, and like you said, I ain't got no big great soliloquy of why it's gonna happen. They just can't beat Denver, man. And that's 11 straight losses to Denver, bro. Like what we
Mm.
talk about here, son. You know what I mean? Like 11 straight losses. They cannot beat that team. Um, Denver and Minnesota next round, that's crazy. But here's something that I noticed too, because we went through all the teams already in the playoffs, right?
We skipped past the Lakers and Denver. We know what's up. We did Clippers and the Mavs. We did Suns and the Wolves. I said the Wolves. I didn't really speak on it, but same. They 3-0. We
Yeah,
ain't gotta. You know what I mean?
yeah, we did all the teams. We did all the teams. And this is something that I noticed too. We are watching literally in this postseason.
Oh, Bucks
Uh,
versus Pacers. He said we ain't do Bucks versus Pacers.
we did.
No, I just said how Halliburton did that move
Oh,
at the
I mean,
end.
we can talk about it, and then I go into what I wanted to say. We can talk about Bucks versus
We ain't
Pacers.
got to talk about it. We could get to what you're trying to say. I got the Pacers. I got the Pacers in 7. If Giannis don't come back, Dame Lillard ain't getting him out this round, man.
I, I would have to agree, my boy. Yeah,
Uh,
listen, the Bucks ain't got enough offensively to match the Pacers, and the Bucks ain't good defensively. You know what I mean? Like if at least they was a good defensive team, you could be like, all right, maybe they could slow them down, but it don't seem to be the case, man. And I got the Pacers at 7. Dame is
well,
definitely going. Dame is definitely going to get him at least 1 or 2 more games. You feel me? Dame is not
mhm.
going out like I don't think Dame going out like no hoe. You feel me? But
Yeah, nah. But Middleton, I don't expect Middleton to show up big the way he did this whole series. Like the shit he was doing was incredible basketball. But for him to do that shit on the regular without Giannis, just him and Dame, yeah, Portis is gonna be there, but Siakam. You know what I
yeah,
mean? So, yeah, I don't got much to say about that. I got Pacers in 7. I'm listening. What you was finna say?
think of this series we kind of watch it. I mean, in these playoffs, we kind of watching the changing of the guards. Like all the newer stars is busting the older stars' ass.
Yeah, I was saying this last night on my live stream last night. Word.
You got to me to me right now. Uh, Joker is the best player in the NBA in my eyes. Right now, we got the new best player in the NBA busting the old best player in the NBA ass.
Mm-hmm.
We got Ant busting KD ass. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
who else? I'm trying to think. I'm drawing a blank right now. Uh, you know, what you call it?
Even the Halliburton, remember Halliburton and Dame Lillard earlier in the season when they had that playing tournament and Halliburton went off and Dame Lillard was and Halliburton was like, and then Dame was like, yeah, you better watch your mouth, young boy. That could come back to you. It better come back in this playoffs, Dame, because if not, y'all again, I feel like the young boys is looking at the veterans like, yo, y'all gotta move around.
Yep, yep.
Y'all gotta
Flip
move
flop.
around. You know what I'm saying?
It's already
And I feel like Ant low key had a lot of confidence going into this season. After what they did last playoffs, just being there. And when KD went from the east to the west, I know he was like, "Y'all not in our way." And remember he said that shit about Ant Man sneakers. He was like, "I wouldn't stick a toe in those."
yeah, bro. Yeah.
Mm-mm-mm.
What you call
Give
it?
him-
Um, yeah, Steph was already cooked. You know what I mean? He didn't even make the playoffs. Uh, yeah, it, yeah, it's kind of yeah. And then boom. Then you got to look at the Mavs and them too. You know what I mean? Like Luca is the one of those new guys, bro. He's one of the new guys, and you got three old stars on that on four old stars on that Clippers team: Westbrook, Harden, Paul George, and Kawhi. You know what I mean? And you see, they getting worked. You know what I mean? So like, it's definitely looking like the change of the guard, end of the era. You know what I mean? End of an era type shit. You know what I mean? And I'm here for it because it has to happen. You know what I mean? And I think if here's my problem, I don't think that these newer guys are being marketed right by the NBA. The same way that they marketed, you know, Steph coming up before the championships, LeBron. Like I think these guys was getting marketed way different and way better. Uh, but I think the NBA is in good hands, man.
Yeah, I think this is exciting basketball. I mean, when you talk about eras, when I see Ant Man dunking the game, I think of Vince Carter. I ain't saying he's good as Vince Carter, but he give me that same as a fan, give me that same feeling. You know what I'm saying? He's really trying to dunk on your head top, for the world to see. You know what I
Facts.
mean? Um,
And, and then when Ja Morant come back healthy, like you can't forget how good that Memphis team was with him as a part of it. You know what I mean? Like, so it's just yeah, I think the NBA is in good hands. They just got to market these young guys better, bro. They got to
mhm,
market these young guys better. Give them the same push that they give in Wemby. You feel me? Like
mhm,
Wemby's getting the push that like Ant should be getting. Ant should be getting what Ant is to me in my eyes. Hear me out now. Hear me out now.
mhm,
I'm not saying he on that level yet, but he the closest thing to Kobe I've seen in a minute.
mhm.
He the closest thing to Kobe. They tried to say Tatum was that. Tatum not that. Tatum not that.
Nah,
Ant Ant got the mentality. He got the mama mentality, son.
yeah, yeah.
He got the mama
I think
mentality.
I think he low key the face of the league. If hypothetically they said that he was Jordan's son, I wouldn't be surprised. That's all I'm saying. So I just look at it for what it is. He play in Minnesota, and again, I watched an interview with Marbury and Carmelo, 7 p.m. in Brooklyn. That's the name of the podcast. And Marbury talk about not wanting to play there. And again, a lot of stars don't want to play there. Rudy Gobert, he was in Utah, so that's probably a step up. You know what I mean? Just thinking culturally how things are, you know what I mean? Especially being from France. Imagine culturally how different it is being from France and being in Utah and then being in Minnesota. And the way Marbury talked about Minnesota, he didn't like the life after basketball. Melo asked him, did it affect you on the court? He said, nah. But he knew he didn't want to be there. Case in point, the Minnesota got to come up from the draft. A lot of stars, free agents that could go there and build with Cat and play with Cat, they don't want to be there, bro. That's their last option in some scenarios, I imagine. And I'll to segue to tea time or whatnot, but Shaq said that. He said, yo, I always wanted to play in places hot. I wanted to
Yeah,
Orlando, LA. Like I wanted to be where it was hot. That's a real quote. So you know what I mean? Miami. You know what I'm saying? You think about his tenure, he played in more hot places than cold, and that was intentionally.
So like,
So
in my thought process with smaller markets like Minnesota and stuff like that is when you build a core like Minnesota got right now. I think the best thing that they could do because the younger hot talent might not be interested in going there. You have to seek out those veterans who still want a championship, still play at a solid level, and get them on your roster to support your stars. That's their best bet to path for a championship. Like to me, I feel like Cat and Ant Man is this is going to be their best option right now to chase after a title. They just got to get the right supporting cast around them, and I think finding like some veterans that not quite on their way out the league yet, but kind of get in there and kind of like, yeah, this might be my chance to get a ring type vibes, right? You know what I mean? This might be my chance to get a ring type vibes and move there. And yo, Leaf, I agree with you 100%. Now, if all those guys is in the playoffs, this should be super crazy. And I'm not mad at the playoffs this year. You know what I mean? But I
wow.
think with those guys in the playoffs, this shit would have been extra lit. You know what I mean? And I don't see Wemby being in the playoffs no time soon, gang. Unless unless the Spurs do some miraculous shit in the offseason. They gotta
K
make a lot of
neither.
moves.
But K is somebody that I'm not sure if he loyal to Detroit. So I don't know if he can land on a contending team. Cam Thomas, I think we'd be back in the playoffs next season for sure. Ja Morant, they a lot of potential, but they really got to put it. They've been there already, so I don't want to count them out. And players do come back once they rehabilitate off a injury that may take about in a season in the injury. So I'm not going to count them out. Zion, of course, he was putting in work on the way to the playoffs. I seen how well he was playing. Yeah, you absolutely right about that. He also said the veterans don't support the young stars enough. And I want to tell you that I know why. I seen an interview with Jamal Crawford, and he said, I left the league averaging big numbers. I could put up 20 plus a game right now at my age, but the league is geared towards having my roster spot at 30 plus years old, 36 or 37 or whatever age Jamal Crawford is at. He said they rather have a 19-year-old. So you know what I mean? So that's why you don't get the support, Leaf, because they basically letting the young guys take their job. You know what I'm saying? That being said, that's the reason why there is no support, bro. Word.
The league is a lot younger now. I mean, if you look around the league, it's a lot younger. I think in past days, like if you were an older player and you still was serviceable in doing things and doing like really good things, you still had a significant role on teams. Not the case anymore so much. You feel me? So
Yeah. That's how it
and
is, bro.
and I can see where the resentment might come. Like these guys, like yo, I can still bust these young boys' ass for real. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And them not feeling like they're getting their just due. But yo, I gotta kind of start wrapping this up. I gotta go to work.
All right, yo, man. I appreciate y'all. Y'all know what it is. Subscribe to the page, like the video, follow me on Big Fan Breezy. We following the playoffs, even though the Nets is not in it. Yeah, man. We'll be back next Saturday, more than likely. And I appreciate y'all, man. Until next
Yeah.
time, peace.
It's still Knicks and six, man. You already know the vibes. Uncle Seb on the pull up, even though we
Yo,
out
what
of
up,
here.
Seb?
Seb on the pull
Yeah.
up. Knicks and six, Uncle Seb. Yo, said I'm gonna call you in a few minutes, yo. You heard?
Pull up to
Yeah.
the page.
All right, yo. I holla.
All right, peace.